Let me just ask you bluntly, if things don't go well with the negotiated endgame, can the Afghan forces, as trained with money and help, I mean, because obviously NATO's not going away entirely, can it hold back the Taliban for the medium future?
First of all, under so much pressure over the past 35 years, we have not fragmented as a nation. What has fragmented in Afghanistan is power structures and state structures. We are still very proud of being Afghan, despite the fact that it's a dirt-poor country and it has been the scene of invasions by powers throughout the history. We are not seeing Afghanistan sort of a country which will fall apart along the ethnic lines. There is the example of Najibullah's government, which fell down in 1992. We very much hope, and we have the reason, despite hope being not a measurable commodity, we have hope that 2014 will not be 89, and it will not be 92. The situation is different. Now, the reason Najibullah's army collapsed because Soviet Union stopped supporting it. And because Afghanistan sank into chaos because Pakistan had a double-face strategy then, and it has a double-face strategy today. Now, what will keep the Afghan army fighting is continued financial and technical support. Now, we hope in Chicago the size and the amount of subsidy for the Afghan forces will be specified, and with that amount we will have a clear view of where we will go with these forces. Now, the Taliban military pressure will not fragment the Afghan national security forces. The Taliban threat and insurgency will obviously undermine the writ of the government in certain areas. It will stop development work. It will damage the environment enough that we will not be able to bring foreign investment and start major development projects, but they will not be able to overrun the state. However, as our distinguished colleague from Pakistan said, for Pakistan, the game is an India-centric game. It's an India-centric strategy. They want Taliban to control east and southern Afghanistan to create a buffer. In other words, Pakistan is trying to expand the borders of the FATF, federally tribal, administered tribal areas, so that India's access and the perceived influence is evicted from those parts of the country, and the border is controlled by a proxy friendly to Pakistan. I totally agree with my friend that Islamabad is afraid of Talibanization, but they are not working with us to dismantle the Taliban. They are giving the Taliban resources and enough incentive to look towards Kabul. That's not the solution. If Islamabad starts to act like a state and deal with the state as India does, and stop dealing with non-state actors in Afghanistan, the situation will change dramatically. So,
Thank you. Well, I mean, finish your thought. Okay. I apologize, but
what you leave behind, if again I said those two things are not done, reform and a very clear definition of who is the enemy, which is now blurred, we will have a muddle-through strategy, a status quo continuing, and there will not be breakthrough. However, we will not collapse and fragment as it is predicted by certain pessimist circles.